Good morning, students. Welcome to the lecture series of Open Systems for Web Technologies. My name is Gopi Simhadri, working as an assistant professor in the Department of Computer Science and Engineering in VFSTR deemed to be university. So in this course, we have to learn open source technologies such as open source operating systems, open source databases, and open source web servers, and open source browsers, and different open source IDEs. So these are the open source technologies. So what are the course description and objectives? So the main objective of this course is, by using open source technologies, you can develop web applications. So what are the open source technologies? Such as Linux, MySQL, CGI, PHP, and Apache web servers. So these are all our open source technologies. So the main objective of this course is, by using this open source technologies, we can develop web applications. Okay, and finally, the students can analyze various open source and commercial products, and design dynamic web pages and web services using PHP language. And finally, the students can develop web-based applications. So these are the outcomes of the course. And coming to the next one, in the first unit, you already learned open source operating systems like Linux. So in the second unit, is open source database. So in this second unit, you have to learn open source databases like MySQL. Okay. So what are the contents in MySQL in the second unit? So these are the contents in the second unit. In the second unit, we have to learn MySQL introduction and MySQL basics and directory structure of the MySQL, and creating users and super users, and what are the functions and operations of MySQL. So these are the contents we have to learn in second unit. So first of all, what is open source database? So the open source database means it is freely available in the internet. We have to simply download it and use for our needs. Okay. So in the market, there are plenty of open source database are available. So for example, MySQL, PostgreSQL, MariaDB, and MongoDB, Redis, SQLite, and TimeSales, and Firebird. So these are the different types of open source databases available in the market. But in our syllabus, we are mainly focusing on MySQL open source database. So MySQL database is most popular open source database in the market, and now this MySQL database is acquired by the Oracle Corporation and in 2010. And the next database, PostgreSQL. So the Postgre open source database is a object relational database management system. It is most robust and high performance than MySQL. And coming to the next one, MariaDB. So MariaDB is structure is similar to MySQL, and it is also one of the most widely used open source database. And second one, and the next one, MongoDB. So MongoDB is a NoSQL database program, and it is mainly used for mobile application developments. So these are the number of open source databases are available in the market, but we are focused mainly on MySQL database. Okay, let's look at into briefly the concepts of MySQL. So before going to that in detail about MySQL, first of all, we have to learn the basic concepts of database concepts. So what is a data? So in generally, the data means it is a fact or real world entity to be stored in anything. Okay, so the data should be in any format, okay, like normal text format, audio format, image formats, and number formats. So any fact that should be stored in particular area, that is called data. So the data should be in different formats like video data, image data, and email data, and word data, and different formats of data is available in the present situations, audio data and social media data. Okay, and the next one, information. So what is the definition of information? The information is the processed data is called information. It is nothing but the data should be in unorganized format, but if the information is a meaningful way, organized data is called information. So the data should be processed in meaningful way. Finally, we can get the information. Okay, and the next one, what is a database? So database means the database is a collection of similar data types in a particular storage area. So the database is a collection of similar data is called databases. Now there are different types of databases are available in the market. For example, I am taking one example, telephone directory. So in particular online telephone directory, we have to maintain telephone numbers, customer names, addresses in the databases. So this is the telephone directory. And next, coming to the next one, next example, Facebook. So Facebook is another example for databases. So in the Facebook, we have to, in the database, they have to maintain users IDs, user mail IDs, and their chatting list, and friends list, and ads. So total information should be maintained in particular database. So this is another example for database. For example, here we have to maintain different types of databases. So these are the different types of databases. All the databases are connected with central servers. Okay. So in the database, data can be stored in meaningful data. So that data can be easily accessed and modified and retrieve the data. So what are the applications of database? So there are plenty of applications are available. So let us look one by one. So the first application is telecommunication. So the database which helps to store balance information, call recordings. So total information should be kept. And the next application is financial. For example, I am taking for banking sector. So in the banking databases, they have to maintain customer details, account details, and loans, deposits. So everything should be kept in the particular databases. Okay. And the next one, medical. So in the medical databases, the databases which helps to store the patient's information, diseases information. So everything should be stored in a particular databases. And the next one, industrial. So in the industrials, the data should be kept in particular customers information, and what are the sales productions. So every data should be kept in the particular databases. And another example, airlines online ticket booking. Which helps to store the seat is available or not. Next, the schedule information. So that information should be kept in the particular databases. And the next one, social media. So nowadays, everyone addicted with different types of applications, social media applications. So for example, Twitter, Facebook, WhatsApp. So every application, they have to maintain separate. And the next one, sales. It is nothing but e-commerce. So e-commerce, like Amazon, Flipkart. So they have to maintain separate databases. So what are the customer needs, and they maintain account products information. What are the data we have to maintain customer needs. So everything should be related to the information stored kept in the particular databases. And the next one, educational databases. So in the educational databases, they have to maintain for students information, faculty information, marks, and university information. So everything should be kept in a particular databases. So these are the different types of applications used for databases. Okay, and next one, DBMS. So what is DBMS? The abbreviation of DBMS is Database Management System. So the Database Management System, DBMS, is a software which interacts with the users, applications, and database itself. Okay, so the DBMS is used to interact with the users, applications, and database itself. So this database have to maintain a meaningful data. So in this databases, we have to retrieve our data and modify data, and next one, we have to store different types of data. So this database, we have to retrieving our information. So the definition of DBMS is a software. It is a software application that interacts with the user, applications, and database itself, which analyze our data and retrieve our databases. So coming to the next one, types of DBMS. So there are different types of DBMS are available. So let us look into one by one. So what are the different types of DBMSs? The first one is hierarchical DBMS. So in this hierarchical DBMS, so every node we have to maintain a parent-child relationship. So every parent, they have particular childrens. So in this hierarchical DBMS, they have to maintain parent-child relationship. So that the data should be kept in a parent-child relationship format. And the next one, network DBMS. So in this network DBMS, so the data should be kept in a many-to-many format. So every node connected with different types of another nodes. So the every node having multiple number of nodes. And the next one, relational DBMS. So in the relational DBMS, the data should be kept in a tables format. So in the table format, the data should be stored in rows and columns. So the data should be kept in a table formats and also known as relations. So now the database DBMS mainly used in this format, relational DBMS format. So entire data should be kept in a tables, that means rows and columns. We have simply insert and retrieving our data and modify the data. And the last DBMS is object-oriented DBMS. So object-oriented DBMS means the data should be kept in the objects formats. So the entire data should be kept in a objects formats. So in every object, they have to maintain their own data and its operations. And the next one, SQL. So what is SQL? SQL means a structured query language. For example, in normal situation, if two persons want to communicate, they have to use some medium such as a language. So the two persons having communicate with each other, they have to use one particular language, that is like English language. Okay, so in such a way that the users and database want to communicate with each other, we have to use one particular language, that is called SQL, structured query language. With this language, we have to retrieve our data and modify the data, and we can access the data in the form of queries. So what are the different types of different languages in structured query language? So there are a number of, there are different languages are there. For example, DDL. So DDL means data definition language. So in this DDL, which helps to define and structure the database or tables. So in this DDL data definition language, we have to use different commands like create command, alter command, rename command, drop and truncate. So the create command is used to create database and at the same time tables. And the next one, alter. So the alter command is used to modify the structure of the table. And the next one, rename. So rename query is used to rename the table or databases. So it modifies the table's names. And the next one, drop. So the drop command is used to delete entire structure of the data. So whenever we are using this drop command, we have to take very careful. So whenever we, so this drop command is used to delete entire data in the table. And the next one, truncate. So the truncate command is used to delete the content in the table, not entire structure of the data. But the structure is there, but the content is not available. So both are different. Drop and command, both commands are different. In the drop command, the entire structure will be lost. But in the truncate command, the content will be lost, but the structure is there. Coming to the next one, DML, data manipulation language. So this DML data manipulation language is used to modify the data. So in this DML, we have to use different types of queries. For example, insert. So whenever we want to insert a data, a particular table, we are using insert command. And the next one, update. So for example, if we have to any updates in the table or data, we are using the update command. And the next one, delete. So delete command is used to one or more number of fields in the data or table. So this delete command is similar to truncate, but both are different. So whenever we are using truncate command, entire content will be lost, but structure is there. But in delete command, it is, we are deleting one or more columns, one or more rows or columns in a particular table. And the next one, select command. The select command is used to retrieve or show the data in the database. And the next one, DCL command. So data control language. So it allows you control accesses to the database. So this DCL commands are used to control the databases. Like there are different types of queries we are using in this databases. For example, grant and revoke. So grant command is used to give the permissions to the users or particular table. And revoke command. The revoke command is used to get back the privileges from the databases. Okay. So the grant command is used to get the permissions to give the permissions to the users or databases. But the revoke command is used to get back the privileges from the users. And the next one, TCL command. So TCL, transaction control language. So which allows to deals with the transaction of the databases. Transaction of the databases. So in this TCL commands, we are using different types of commands like commit, rollback, save point, and set transactions. So these are the different queries we are using in TCL. So these are the different languages using in structured query language: DDL, DML, DCL, and TCL. So all these languages are used in databases. So with the help of these languages, we have to insert a data, retrieving the data, deleting a data, and any updations in the databases. So in this video, we have to learn different types of operating open source databases and what are the fundamental concepts of MySQL and fundamental topics of DBMS and types of DBMS and the definition of the DBMS and the different types of SQL languages like DDL, DML, DCL and TCL. So these are the different types of languages for using the retrieving for data and modifying the data in a particular databases. So if you have any doubts, please mail me cgs_csc@vignan.ac.in. Thank you.